March 28, 1969, the nation was shocked by the news that Dwight D. Eisenhower, 34th President of the United States and Supreme Commander of the Allied forces in Europe during World War II, had died at the age of 78. During his lifetime, Eisenhower contributed significantly to the welfare and safety of his country, and it is because of this that the National Capital Memorial Advisory Commission has found it fitting to honor him with a memorial in Washington, D.C. Eisenhower's memorial represents American history, our history, and in this way, it represents you, and it also represents me. It is because of this that when I first heard of this story, I knew I had to find out more about it. After painstakingly researching my topic, I've discovered that the nation is sharply divided over the design. In my speech, I will give you some background as to what this controversial proposal is, why critics are upset with it, and what its defenders are saying in support of it. The proposed design was created by the architect Frank Gehry. In the Los Angeles Times on March 25, 2010, Chris Hawthorne described Gehry's proposal, saying, and I quote, "It combines a grove of oak trees, two parallel colonnades, which is a row of columns, of limestone pillars and loosely piled limestone walls, carved with sculptural reliefs, with a series of woven steel mesh tapestries that will feature images of Eisenhower and his presidency." Not mentioned in this description is the focus of Gehry's proposal, which is a young Eisenhower surveying his accomplishments as an adult. It is this aspect that is one of the most controversial parts of the proposal. Its critics are saying that focusing on a young Eisenhower is improperly representative of the adult's accomplishments. Roger K. Lewis, in the January 27, 2012 Washington Post, expressed this opinion, saying, and I quote, "Eisenhower's significance in American history is attributable not to his childhood, but rather to his exemplary military, political, and diplomatic leadership as an adult." In other words, Lewis is saying we shouldn't be focusing on Eisenhower as a child, because Eisenhower as a child had no impact on our nation. Another area of the design that has come under fire is the proposal itself. In the December 2011, January 2012 periodical, The American Spectator, Tom Peffel complained that Gehry's design focuses too much on the architect. If you've ever been to Washington, D.C., and you've seen memorials like the Lincoln or the Jefferson, you know that they're done in a sort of Greco-Roman classical style. Well, Gehry's approach is very much a modernist one. So, if passed, Eisenhower's memorial will stand out like a sore thumb. Bethel thinks that this draws way too much attention to Gehry and not enough on the man it is supposed to commemorate. In spite of all these complaints, however, there are still a handful of people who are very much in support of the unconventional design. Philip Kennicott, in the December 18, 2011 Washington Post, praised how Gehry blended together the indoors and the outdoors through his woven mesh tapestry. To him, this was like a coming together of gender roles, where the indoors, or the feminine, meets the outdoors, or the masculine, and becomes one. Similarly, Philip Kennicott also praised how Gehry presents a complex portrayal of Eisenhower. He commends Gehry for his focus on the young president, saying that this gives the viewer the freedom to form their own opinion about the man and his role in history. Through my speech, I've given you the specifics of a controversial design, the materials being used in it, and also its unprecedented focus on a young president. You have also heard about the controversy surrounding this design, how it downplays the significance of Eisenhower as a man and draws too much attention to Gehry. You've also heard what the supporters have to say, how they defend its unconventionality and its forward-thinking, complex portrayal of the president. Perhaps less obviously, however, you've gained a new appreciation for an important figure in American history, a military hero and a patriotic leader, Dwight D. Eisenhower.